welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, and today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be preparing this frame and board to do my largest resin pour on. And this is an old picture that I did a long time ago, and it's not been up anywhere, it's just been stored. And I made the frame. It was really easy to make. All I used was, I've got a stapler, I got some pieces of wood, and then I got some hardboard, cut it out, made the frame, and then popped it on. So it's really quite a strong frame, and it's certainly not going to go anywhere at all. All I'm going to do to prepare this is I've got some gesso, and I'm just going to give it a couple of coats of this over the top to kind of get rid of a little bit of this picture so that none of it shines through, and also to enable the resin to make sure that it actually sticks well onto the board and isn't repelled by anything that's on this board that's been on here a few years. I was inspired to do a big pour by Sharon Vividays because she does a lot. We did a collaboration and she said to me, you really should do some more pours. So I thought I would have a go and see how it turns out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and ring that notification bell so you get notified when my videos are coming out. And I will link everything that I used today in the description below as well. And the resin I'm using for this is the Resin Colour Jewellery resin, and the reason I'm using this is it's a lovely thick resin, it's really viscous, and I know that I will get a great result. Now, I've mixed up my resin using one of my homemade pigments, which is the white pigment, and I'll link the video at the end of this one showing you how to make your own pigments, because my goodness me, it saves you an absolute fortune in resin pigments. And what I'm doing is I'm spreading this over the board, and then I'm going to use my hands, which I hate getting my hands messy, and evenly distributing this resin throughout this picture. And that's why I pour the majority of it in the middle so I can move it around, because I want this as fairly evenly coated as possible. Don't be skimping on this first layer because you'll regret it if you do. And also what I will do is I will make sure that the edges are all covered as well. Can you hear my dog in the background? She's rolling around on the floor. So I'm going to make sure that all the edges are completely covered as well. And I made sure that this board was level before I started this, so none of the resin would run off anywhere.
We're never meant to last, but all the fun times we had, I'll never forget. We will always share a bond, no matter what, 'cause you have a piece of my heart. And I know that we're not perfect, but I'm gonna miss all that we had. Yeah, I know that we're not perfect, but I need this night for the last time. Stay, stay. No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay, stay. No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay, stay. If you stay, if you stay, if you stay. No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay till the sun goes up, yeah. For a little moment, just hold me closer. I'll be okay till the sun goes up, yeah. For a little moment, just hold me closer. I'll be okay.
I'm going back in again with my hands now, and they are all clean because, as you saw, I wiped them all off with a baby wipe because I can't stand it. If not, I get resin everywhere. And I'm just lightly, I don't want to go too deep or too heavy, lightly spreading this around and kind of semi-blending these colours at the edges into each other.
No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. If you stay. If you stay. Oh, if you stay. No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay. Have this feeling, haven't felt for for so long. Took a hold of me and won't let go. I've been sleeping, caught me off my guard. Cause you're in my space and now I'm so. Pull me towards you and I cannot fight it. My head's underwater, I try to disguise it. Want you to hold me, though we haven't spoken. I need that something to get me to open. You are only a shot away from me to be.
I'd also like to just say a quick thank you to all the people that bought me a coffee last month. If you'd like to buy me a coffee and help support this channel, it really does help me. I cannot tell you how much it helps me, and help me save towards the final bit for my 3D printer, CNC and laser cutter, which is the Snapmaker. Then the link for that is in the description below, and you will get your name on my coffee board for next month. Thank you everyone, I'm nearly there now. I think I'm about £200 away. So I'm just going over this with my heat gun. Now be careful with your heat gun. Heat it up slowly because you don't want to burn the resin, and you also don't want to get like a blooming effect at the end. And once you have warmed it up, then start to move the resin around, and that is what I'm doing on a lower heat. My dog's now playing with her squeaky toy in the background. Daisy is really wanting to have her tea. I think that's what it is, and she doesn't like me doing voiceovers. And you really can start to see that mica powder glistening in there with that gold, and it will make a few cells. I don't want it to oversell because that is not what I'm looking for this picture. I just want a few in it. And I'm pushing this around now that it's got nicely warmed up, but it's not too warm where it's going to burn or cause any problems with this resin or cause it to run off. It's still got that nice viscousness to it while I'm moving it around. I'd just like to say a quick thank you to all my members whose names are coming up now. Thank you for your membership and your ongoing support. I hope you're enjoying the series that we have been doing on how to set up your own business and how to sell your products. And the next one we're doing, which is the second week of September, will be on digital marketing. So how to make the best out of all your digital marketing places like Etsy and those sorts of things. And now what I'm doing is I'm using the heat to push this gold through and down into the other colours, because that's kind of how I want this picture to look. I don't want it to have three really solid colours. So I'm using this, now the whole board is all nice and warmed up, pushing it down as you can see here. And you can see in the middle of the picture where some of the cells are starting to come up, and also where some of the mica powder is starting to pool as well and give that really nice reflective metallic look to it. Again, I'm ensuring that I'm not overheating this, and I have got my heat gun now on a lower setting as well, so it's not too hot, because it is already warm enough to start moving it around.
Watch me fly, fly, fly. Tick tock, go turn a page and blow some rage. Tick tock, don't waste it all on tears. Unlock your fantasies, just wait and see. Knock, knock, revolutions at your door. 'Cause you've been taking every piece of me for granted, and I'm tired of the way you're wired. You make solutions of illusions, and I try to break up with your illusion.
I've got a little bit of gold left over, so what I'm doing is I'm just pouring that into this red over the top of it. So there's several layers. You've got the white, you've got the red, and now you've got a little bit of gold. So it will move on the top of here quite easily using this heat gun, but I do have to warm it up again because that was cooler resin. I have to say this was a resin pour that even surprised me, to be honest. I was really surprised at the final outcome of this and how much I absolutely loved it. And as a result, I have put it up in my house, in my hallway, because it needed a bit of colour.
You've been taking my love for nothing now. You've been taking it all for nothing. In return, 'cause you.
And as you can see in this picture, I am wearing a mask, and I always wear a full face mask whenever I've got uncured resin around in my studio until it's actually cured, because I am so sensitive to resin. And that is because for quite a long time I only used a half face mask, and it really, my skin just became really sensitive to it, and then I get contact dermatitis because of the fumes and any other bits and pieces, and that happens to me regardless of what resin I use, other than 5-minute epoxy. So as you can see here, I've got a full face mask on, and I would recommend that everybody takes health and safety precautions when using resin. I have a video that I always link at the bottom of my description as well on what you should do, and I also put some notes in at the very beginning of my videos as well. So this picture is really starting to come together now, and I'm starting to love it. And it's at this stage where I think I would just like to freeze it so it doesn't move any further. But as we know, anybody that makes resin pictures or does anything with resin, until it's fully cured, it's still going to move around. But you get some great results from that. But this is where I thought, oh, I love it how it is now. Sorry about the reflection of the lights, but I need those lights to keep the reality of the colours going, and also to ensure I can see what I'm doing in my monitors and everything. So I'm just going around all the edges to make sure that they've got enough resin on them, pushing that resin to there. And then what I will do is I will leave this alone. Unfortunately, I couldn't cover it up because I didn't have anything big enough to cover it up with. And then I'll let it cure overnight, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Well, the picture's all cured now and it's ready to hang on the wall. I have to say I am in love with it. I think it's the best picture I've ever made, and without a doubt it is using the jewellery resin for this, because it's just a beautiful viscous resin and it's really bubble free, and it just sits and moves around where you want it. I love it. Unfortunately, I can't have my overhead lights on at the moment, which is what I normally record with, because it'll just reflect off it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang it on the wall. I'm going to move it first. Hang it on the wall, and then I will show you what it looks like done. Now, all these drips that have come off this here, I will collect up and I will use those in another project. Well, there we go. That's it hanging up. I'm really pleased with it. It's in my hallway, so it's a little bit echoey in here, so I apologise for that. I'm absolutely loving how this has come out, although the light in here isn't brilliant. I like the way that some of the metallic has come and washed over it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. I have to say, once again, it is down to the resin that you use. And the light is just reflecting, I think, beautiful, and it adds a lot of much needed colour to this space. Well, thank you for watching this. Sorry it was such a long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and boop that like button, because that really helps my videos to get out there. It does me a great favour. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee or become a member of my channel, then the link for that is in the description below, along with the link for everything that I've used today in this project. Take care, enjoy your resin. Bye.